Hi everyone, welcome to Slice of Life. My name is Dabney. I'm the young adult librarian at the Twin Lakes Library System and I use they, them pronouns. For today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you all about cosplay. So if you've never heard of cosplay or done cosplay, this is basically when you dress up as your favorite character. And this can be a character from anything, a TV show, a movie, an anime, a manga, a comic, a book, a video game. If you like a character and dress up as them, you're doing cosplay. This is not really like going in costume for Halloween. There is, like, when people are cosplaying, typically you are also trying to get into character. And as far as like, the outfit you're wearing, the props, it's kind of going really above and beyond just dressing up for Halloween. So, I'm going to talk about kind of some different levels of cosplay. So, usually when people are cosplaying, they are doing it at a convention. So, in Georgia, there's like 3 big conventions. In Atlanta, there's MomoCon and Anime Week in Atlanta, and those are both conventions that are centered around anime and manga, though they have also expanded to include like comics and gaming and video games. And then there's another convention, which is DragonCon. So kind of think about Comic Con, but on like a smaller scale and in Atlanta. And Comic Con, DragonCon, they are huge, like, sci-fi conventions. I've been a couple times to DragonCon, and they bring in, like, all, actors, actresses, people in the industry. It's really great, I think when Good Omens came out, they had, like, David Tennant come, and, I have different shows I really like, and, they bring in, like, the entire cast, and that's just really cool. And so you've got, like, people at these conventions, and they are cosplaying. I have friends who go, and they do, like, group cosplay, so, a bunch of people come together, and they're like, all right, we're gonna be, the Avengers, and everyone has a character and they do the character, or we're gonna be the characters from My Hero Academia, and that's really cool. I've never done group cosplay. I've always just kind of done my own thing, but I think that would be really fun to do. And some people, they get very into it and they have multiple costumes they wear during a day, and usually these conventions last like 4 days. And people have like different costumes for each day. I am not that intense with it because one thing about cosplay is it can get very expensive. So depending on what type of cosplay you're doing, your bills can rack up. So on sort of like a very entry level, you can do closet cosplay. So that is where you're finding things that you already own and trying to create a look for your character based on what you already own, or based on things that you can buy really cheaply, like, if you want to go to a Goodwill or other used clothing stores or the Dollar Tree, and you find things there that you can add to your costume without really spending much money. And so to give a couple examples of that, I've done closet cosplay before. So for example, number 6, I did Shion, though I did his look after his transformation, so he has white hair and red contacts. And I already had red contacts, so that was great. And I had bought a white wig for this, and the other stuff was like clothing I already owned or clothing I got from Goodwill. So that was a pretty easy one. I did Kasahara from Library Wars, doing like her librarian uniform, and that, I just bought some things from Goodwill and sort of sewed and made them look like specific to her uniform. Stepping up from there, you can buy pieces. So right now I am cosplaying as 11 from Stranger Things. So I'm going to tilt this down a bit so you can see the full outfit. Alright, so all of those clothing items came from Amazon. This jacket, was not specific to the look, and this dress is not 100% 11's dress. It's sleeveless. In the show, her dress has long, big puffy sleeves, but when you're wearing it under the jacket, no one is going to know. So, that's kind of like the next level. If you're wanting to spend some more money, you can just buy the separate pieces. Or some people are like master cosplayers and they make everything in their costume. So they make all the clothes, they make all the props, and they sometimes will have to buy wigs or make wigs. Like I was saying earlier, they might have prosthetics that they need to buy, and doing the full makeup, which I cannot do hair and makeup to save my life. So when I am cosplaying characters, I like to choose characters who either wear very little makeup or none at all, and I'm just like, whatever. There's a couple of cosplayers I follow on Instagram, and they cosplay as a lot of characters from some of my favorite young adult novels, as well as like anime characters. But anyways, they are so good at like the makeup and contouring their faces, and every time they post new pictures, I'm like, how do you do this? It's amazing. It's really a skill and a craft, and it's really cool. And kind of as a side note, I was looking on Hoopla to see if they had any books about cosplay, and they do. And one of the books is how you can sell cosplay, props and costumes and wigs. So if you are like talented in that area, or you think, this is something you might want to explore, check out that book and read up and see, kind of how you could turn something that's like a hobby or that you're passionate about into possibly a career. Like, I know one person who does that, who, people can commission them to make costumes and make wigs for their cosplay. And you might be like, I don't believe you. This is no way this is a big thing. But please check out the video. I'm going to link to this about cosplayers, because, it's huge in like fandom circles. So speaking of fandom circles, let me give you your activation code for today's episode. It is fandom. All right, write that down, put that into Beanstack. But yeah, I think cosplaying is just a lot of fun. It's fun when you're doing it, and really it's like a big rush if you are in costume, especially if you're there as like sort of a not super popular anime or character, but then somebody's like, hey, and they call out your character name, and then they get excited about seeing you, you get excited for being recognized, and that's just like a really good feeling. One thing I was thinking about is I used to go to like two or more conventions a year, and this year, I think a lot of conventions have been canceled for good reason, or they're being hosted online, which is great. And it's just like, it's a really amazing like environment to be in. It's really fun, good energy, and I was thinking about how over the years that I've been going to these cons, how you'll see kind of like the popularity of different anime and video games and shows or whatever, like, rise and fall. Like, I remember when Tokyo Ghoul first came out, and I hadn't watched it yet, but I knew what it was, and I remember going to this con, and there was just, like, Tokyo Ghoul cosplayers everywhere, and then they were followed by, like, the My Hero Academia cosplayers. When the Deadpool movie came out, you know, there's always some Deadpools around, but that year there was, like, Deadpools everywhere, and yeah, it's really unique and fun. And I also remember going, like, in the early years and seeing, like, all these kids in, like, gray paint with horns, and I was like, who are these kids? Like, what are they from? And they're from, like, Homestuck. So, you know, it's a little bit of dating myself there. But yeah, really quick, I'm going to do a cosplay fashion show and put on some other outfits that I have. So, 1 minute. So, you know where I said, like, I can't do wigs or makeup to save my life? I really can't. I like Keith a lot from Voltron, and I wanted to, like, cosplay as him. So I got this wig. Oh my gosh, I can't even. Long hair and me are not friends. So when I wore this wig, I kind of had it styled, like, a bit differently, but I was like, I'm here as long-haired Keith, you know, like, this is his alternate look. But yeah, wig. I think I actually bought the wig at the convention, the jacket online, and then the rest of it just kind of put together with clothes I had at home. So you got the shirt, the pants, the boots, and the boots I actually painted, and the paint kind of came off, so that was a crafting fail. But yeah, and also had a picture of Keith. So another great thing about cons, you get to buy, like, cool fan art. Whew, this wig, too hot. Okay, not a professional cosplay at all, but I also very much love Shiro from Voltron, and have my little Shiro plushie, another thing from a convention. Gotta support those artists. And this is like a hoodie I got online, so you can kind of, it looks sort of like his suit that he wears. But yeah, not something I would wear for, like, official cosplay. It's just fun to wear around. Okay. I could never do Eddie Brock justice, but I really love Venom. So I remember, like, after the movie came out, there was, like, tons of fan art online, and one of the ones I saw was, like, Venom acting as, like, a hoodie that Eddie was wearing, and I was like, that's so cool, I want to make that hoodie. So this has kind of been, like, my Halloween costume for a few years, but it's fun. This is one that I made, like, all of these, like, teeth out of clay, and then baked them and sewed them onto here, and then did the eyes with, like, puff paint. So yeah, it's fun. Alright, and this is my final cosplay piece. So one of my favorite anime is Free. It is about a boys swim club, and Haru is my favorite character. So I got the pieces for this cosplay from, like, a convention, different conventions I've been to. To complete the look, I should have, like, a nice wig and maybe some contouring makeup, but, you know, we're just gonna show off the outfit pieces. So, got the school t-shirt they made for the swim club with their little mascot on it, and then their team jacket for the Iwatobi Swim Club. And also wearing my swim trunks. So Haru has like his own specific kind of swim trunks that don't look anything like that. But yeah, so that's a little bit about cosplay and, you know, kind of an entry level for you all. And hopefully this got you inspired to maybe, you know, do some cosplay in the future. It's really fun and interactive, and anyone can do it. You know, I'm pretty shy and introverted, but even I just like really enjoy like putting on a costume and going and being around like-minded people, and there's like a lot of really good energy at cons that I enjoy. So yeah, hopefully you all are inspired and want to find out more about this. But I hope you all have a good week and weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye.